Okay, so let's go in and start texturing our jacket. So again, opening the concept, the jacket is supposed to be a bit red leathery feel with camo on it. I never gave that camo in because it felt a bit noisy to me, but we are going to do it right now. If it feels the same to you, just delete the camo and have a base red color. So let's go in and start adding that. Let's start by adding a fill layer. Let's group it, name it red leather matte. This will be our base. Let's make it red, rough, and make a black mask on our group. Let's add a paint. I'm gonna make a mask so to define where our red material is. The quickest way would be if I press 4 and if I go to my element and make it white, and if I just click on my material, it should have the mask extracted out. Other way I can do it is, instead of this, just add a color selection and pick those areas out. Alright, there we go. Just make sure our tolerance is 0 so we don't accidentally pick anything else. And I think we have these two materials as well. So if I pick them, there. Right, so this is our red material. Let's start building it. The first thing I want to do is give it a bit leathery feel. So let's make our roughness a little less and add a fill layer. This is going to be leather height, add a black mask, add a fill. If I go to our procedures, let's type in leather. I'm going to use the second one, drag and drop. If you have your own leather alphas and you want to use it, you can import it and use them. Let's increase this. Let's decrease this and play with our settings. I'm going to invert it so every crevices is white instead of other things. So let's scroll down, invert it, and make sure we are getting a good mask out of it. Alright, sweet. So let's go into our fill layer and disable everything and keep height and give it a negative height. Alright, there it is. Our leather kind of look. I'm gonna make my height a little less. If I hold shift, I can go in the precision mode and fine tune it. So let's say something like this. Pretty subtle, but it breaks up the spec and make it look a little leathery. Next thing which we want to do is add that camouflage effect. So under our base color, instead of having a flat tone, let's go to our procedurals, pick in the camo, drag and drop, and let's style it more. And instead of using these colors, you can use these colors if you like. Again, I would appreciate for you guys to experiment more with your own materials. Don't ignore finding good references and don't try to make things of your own. It's essential for you guys to pick references and try to mimic that. But right now we are sticking with the concept. Let's make it red. Alright, so something like this. On the back, I guess it's working. I'm gonna make it a little bit more saturated for my color one. Maybe something like that. Let's change our tile. Let's rotate it. Or probably not. I'm going to change my roughness more and make it more rough. Somewhere around here. I'm going to go to my leather height and increase this height more so it's more readable. So we have our base done, but according to the concept, we have few more of these shiny different material in our leather. So let's go in and make that. I guess the leather material also exists here. So let's go to our color selection. Pick these guys as well. But these ones will be the shiny leather. So let's go in, add one more fill layer. Let's name it shiny base and add a black mask, add a paint, add a color selection, and let's pick in those guys. For these ones, since we don't have any color selection right here, we're just going to go in and add a paint, and with one we are going to paint them out. Okay, so our mask is done, and same as last time, I would actually like to go in and clean up some of the areas more. But let's start making the material for now. Let's make this as the same red as the base one as a starting point. Let's make it a little bit more darker. Something like this. Less shiny, more rough. And we have our secondary material done. Let's go in and add some damages in there. I want this guy to have the same kind of effect here. So let's go in my color selection, let's pick in this guy too. Sweet. One more thing I would like to do is these borders to have a little bit more contrast in our character and the border. That's why I made these in the sculpt as well. So let's go in and have a little bit border. By that I mean something to ground our elements in. So this is gonna be a border, this is gonna be a border, and this will be our bigger element. So to make that, I'm not gonna do much. I'm just gonna go in and do the same thing as we have been doing. Add a fill layer, add a black mask, add a paint, and paint in those borders in. I guess I can go in and have a symmetry to save me time on this one. Okay, so let's keep it to the front for now. We can just go in and do the same thing for the back. But to have that border, I'm gonna change my color to dark red. And I'm gonna just keep the color on. And my opacity for the base color, let's decrease this down. And on our color, let's make it more dark. So now what we have is a color gradient board, which is giving us a border for our element, but it's also showing a little bit from the bottom layer. Sweet. We can go in and make it full opacity and make it black or purple. Again, that brings me to the same thing. Just go in and experiment with color codes and do the one that feels best to you. I'm gonna keep it at red. Let's just scan this guy again and make this more dark. Alright, so that's it for our jacket. Now we are gonna move in. Oh, we had these pieces as well, and they seem to work fine. To finish this off, let's go in and add some damages and dirt the same way which we did for our cloth. Let's create a fill, add a black mask, add a fill, go to our procedurals. Let's pick in something else this time. Let's try out this one. Hold Alt to see what our mask is doing. Let's go in, change our parameters. On our fill layer, let's turn off everything else. Let's pick a color which resembles our base thing. Make it a little darker. On our roughness, let's make it really rough. Decrease our height till we have something like that. Let's make the color more dark. I feel something like this would work. On our mask, add a paint, make it multiply, zoom out, press 4, pick black, drag, and now if I press 1 and paint everywhere, I'm gonna see my damages again. Alright, to end it, let's just go in and add a dirt. So that's it for our red leathery material. Now we are going to move in and make our metal material.